The $15,000 King of Battles tournament last weekend provided us with a bunch of insane games, and obviously I wanted to share them with you. Today I'll be covering a little bit of Clem versus Reynor from the semifinals. Quick question for you guys. In the last few days, Maru and Björn both also played really insane and cool series against Reynor. I would probably choose one of those to cover, so please let me know down in the comments which one you would prefer, Maru versus Reynor or Björn, or of course if you want me to cover both, I will do that as well. And if you do really enjoy the content, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss new videos, and it would really help me out as well. Now obviously, as you can see here, Clem opening with a Reaper. I feel like Clem is so good with his micro that if Clem plays without a Reaper opening, he probably has a special build prepared, because yeah, I think if you're that good at microing with Clem, if you're that good at pushing pressure, as you see, actually kills a drone, beautiful work, you should probably always play with a Reaper. I think if you're a Zerg and you play against Clem, you would probably be very happy if you see him go for a Marina opener or a reactor opener or something instead. Now let's see, Clem actually playing double gas. The map is Curious Minds, which is typically a pretty good map for Terran. Pretty good for aggressive play. Now the main reason why I really wanted to do Clem against Reynor is because recently I've been casting a lot of TvZs for you guys. You know, Milky Cow a few times, Skeletor as well once, Vindicta, Maru. And what I noticed is that in most of these games, it is always Terran going to like the extreme late game, playing very thoroughly, getting the ghost up and stuff, winning the game. And Clem is still feel like the only Terran who really gets the job done while being aggressive most of the time. And I'm really talking about macro games, because Terrans do obviously win with their 3-base pushes sometimes. But when it goes beyond 3-base, I feel like Terrans usually just sit there, back at home, camp behind their walls and ghost. And Clem still is very special in that regard. He actually does still play very aggressive. Even with his ghost, and yeah, it's just beautiful to see. And I really wanted to bring you guys that different flavor of TvZ for once. Now there's no way, of course he's gonna go in. Clem is such a little psycho with his unit sometimes. Sees there 6 lings and 3 queens, still goes in. Let's see if he gets drones. Kills 2 drones actually, didn't see the first one. Doesn't get the 3rd drone quite yet. Might get a scout off into the main, and he doesn't, so loses the Reaper. Not sure if that was worthwhile. I feel like with that kind of move, you usually want to get at least 5 drones. But still, if you play in a tournament, it is a pretty annoying move to deal with, right? Like, Reynor probably mismacroed a little bit. Like, obviously, Reynor is an ex-world champion, and he will not make too many mistakes. But still, disturbing your opponent in any way is usually a good move. But yeah, on that one, I'm not so sure if it was a good trade or not. So behind it, Clem is going for a Banshee. He is actually making extra Hellions, by the way. That is very interesting. Those are already his 7th and 8th Hellion finishing there. And now he's gonna switch off. Now, this video is pretty much a POV analysis video, by the way, where I cast the game from Clem's POV. But because Clem plays so fast, I will probably try to do most of the observing myself. Unless I really want to see what's going on in his head. What is going on from his POV. Usually in the late game, I like to see that. Then I will switch over. Now, besides this... Oh, the Banshee's already here, actually. One thing that I really like about Clem is he always saves these units, you know. He would never, you know, be satisfied with 2 drone kills or 3 drone kills. He's always going to hide it, try to get back in. You can see already 2 kills on this. Gets the 3rd kill and goes out. Like, honestly, how many Terrans would go in for just 1 drone kill and then go out again? It takes a lot of APM. Obviously, Clem does have it. Currently playing 345 average. Now, Clem is not a very spammy person, so when Clem has 345 APM, he is playing really, really fast. I know there are some Terrans that could even go up to 500, but a lot of it will probably be spam and not as efficient as Clem. Here we go, 2 Banshees syncing up now. Very important move, by the way. Ooh, a little bit of a misclick there by Clem. Actually gonna get that to red HP. I'm curious if he's gonna go home and repair that, because that would be a very Clem move. Very efficient. Or maybe he'll just stick around and try to do the maximum damage possible. Now behind this, he's just going up to 5 barracks, nothing crazy so far. And Reynor is actually going to go for the Roach Warren. Now, Clem does not... Oh, he does actually know about it somehow. Or maybe that was a building from earlier that was cancelled. I'm not quite sure. Oh no, he did run in with the Hellions and see it probably, right? Now I remember. And Roaches, they're not super common in ZVT, but on this map, honestly, very, very strong. Because if you look at the 3rd base here, I'm going to zoom out quickly. You see... There is so much space to come from. Like, you can't simply wall off one of these things and be safe behind a wall. Like, the amount of surface area roaches can come from, and you have to, yeah, cover pretty much with depots, tanks and stuff, is just a pretty insane amount. So, very strong on this map. Now, Reynor does know his roaches has been scouted. I guess that Reynor probably wanted to go for a 1-1 maxed out roach timing, but because Clem did see the Roach War and he decided to go for melee upgrades instead. And we will probably see a Baning Nest to follow up from that. Good reactive decision making, honestly. by Reynor there. Now, by the way, I'm not just going to show you guys this first macro game. I'm also going to show you guys a really cool build Clem did in game 2 that you can use to finish off Zergs fast. So make sure to stay tuned for that one as well. Now, let's see how Clem is going to pile on the aggression. He's leaving his tanks at home. This makes a lot of sense against roaches, just so you guys know. Moving out against roaches is very risky because timing attacks typically don't work, because roaches will just overwhelm you. You really just want to get to a really high army supply, and I mean like 180 plus, and then you can move out. And if they have too many roaches, your army will be too strong and you can finish it off. But if you attack before this, you will run into an army like this. And if you have units that can't evacuate, like siege tanks, you will just lose a lot of units, and it's very inefficient. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Clem would actually start adding on bunkers to deal with the roach attack. I'm not sure if he realized that it's going to be banelings quite yet. He seems to be pretty content. Now, obviously, his opener is... so he's actually going to make a bunker. Nice, that's a good prediction. He's repairing his banshees, by the way, super cool. But a banshee opener is really good against this, because if the Zerg commits, you can use those banshees to target down the Ravagers. So if there's like a few Ravagers in the back biting down your tanks, you can kill them with the banshees, and they won't be able to gun down your tanks, which means their attack just simply won't work. Now, I feel like Clem has a pretty insane amount of supply, by the way. Pretty much 160 supply at 8 minutes. That is really not bad. And he is going to go for that second factory. Now, this is a move that I started using as well recently. I've seen some other terrans in Europe, like Battlebee, do it as well to play against roaches. They will just make this the second factory, and as soon as they have too many tanks to overwhelm for the Zerg, they will push, and they usually get the dub with that. Now, Clem's going to attack around side here at the bottom. I wonder what led to that decision. Now, Reynor is going to counterattack. This bunker could actually be very nice, by the way. There we go. That bunker is pretty much going to prevent this counterattack, especially with the Banshee support. Now, attack is going on at the same time. Clem being very aggressive here. Obviously, if there's no banelings, you do not have to worry as much about a pre-split. Let's see. This doesn't look like a massive army by Reynor. The Ravagers, by the way, so much DPS, so much utility, but if they don't have any tanking, they die very fast. So what Reynor has to do is he has to keep backing off as soon as he runs out of fodder, like roaches or links for those Ravagers, as you can see backing off. This looks like a very tight battle, by the way. It feels like Reynor could die, but if he micros really well, he should be able to survive here. Good bile dodges so far. Guns down the Ravagers, as you can see, very valuable. Doesn't quite get that red HP one over there, but does get the hatchery. That's a really big move. And that should put Clem in an economically good situation. Oh, if he pulled those Banshees earlier, maybe could have been used. Obviously, they were Queens, so it was never going to make a massive difference. But killing a Ravager like that, he's actually trying. Transfuse is saving it, though. But killing Ravagers with anything, Banshees, Marine Snipes, always very valuable. A Ravager is 100-100, guys. It's basically like sniping a Muta. Pretty big deal. Now, Clem's still getting his Fortress before his extra barracks, as you can see. I think, if I had to guess, Clem probably does not play extra barracks before Fortress anymore. It's a pretty all-in style. And even though Clem is aggressive, there are different kinds of aggressive if you think about it. You can play the aggressive style where you always want to kill your opponent with one big push. And then you can play the Clem style where you're not really looking to end the game, but you just put on pressure with any unit you have. You're always sending them across, but you want to play macro behind it. You don't want to end the game with one big push. You kind of want to end the game by doing damage over and over and over until you have a big enough lead. Now here's Banelings. Gonna have to see some really good splits here from Clem. Does get the splits off. The last Baneling connected a little bit. Oh no, there were you guys see there were two hidden Banelings in the army. Not even I saw those, and they actually connect. And that pretty much saved Reynor, because Reynor was about to go down. Probably had to back off from there, or he would have lost his Ravagers. But those two freaking hidden Banelings in the middle of the army actually saving his ass. Now let's see, he's probably going to add Techless on all of those. I imagine we're going to see a lot of Marauders, a lot of tanks here. It is a little bit scary of a position though for Clem if you look at it, because he does not have to... Does he have a Ghost Academy yet? I don't think so, right? He does not have the Ghost Academy yet, and there's already Ultras coming up and Vipers coming up. And Marine Marauder tank usually does not win against a big fight against Viper Ultra. That's like, you know, there's always memes about how bad the Ultralists are, but one thing they are really good at, it's punishing Terrans that don't tech up. Like, if there's a lot of Ghost out, they will honestly pretty much dunk on the Ultras, but if there's not, if you're just playing Marine tank, the Ultras can actually deal with that super well, and that's why they are strong. So I do like the decision from Reynor to go for that. Obviously, he's not in a position to go for Lurkers or Brutlers anytime soon. There's no Spire, there's no Hydra then. So that is the logical follow-up as well, besides being a good choice. Now Clem doing some double drops here. Oh no, this is actually two Banshees, okay. Those are still alive, that's what I was talking about, by the way. 8 kills and 8 kills. 16 kills on those Banshees just because he kept them alive all the time. Very well done. Now, Clem is staying at 73 SCVs, which means, yeah, he pretty much has all the minerals secured. Ooh, that could have been dangerous. That bio could have double killed, actually. Less than 60 health medevacs. A bio does 60 damage, right? I believe. Yeah. So let's look at the army composition. He has a few too many Marines left, especially if the ultra count gets high. Now, right now, there is literally, yeah, 0 ultras on the field. First one coming out. So the Marine count being high is actually a good thing because Marines do have a lot of DPS. They deal well with Zerglings, Banelings, Roaches, Ravagers, pretty much. Not amazing against Roaches, but they do the job if you have enough of them. But if there's more ultras out, you definitely need more Marauders. Now, wait, he has 2 Sentry Towers next to each other. Kind of cute, I guess, if one gets sniped. Very unlikely, though, when there's no mutas. He's getting more bases up. And this is what I was talking about. Clem also recently, he told me that he used to kind of be all-in in some way. But these days, he's also... Ooh, those battles actually hit pretty hard. He's also way more comfortable in camping. And I feel like when Clem says that, that is honestly terrifying. Because that was maybe the one weakness that Clem had. Is that he would never sit back when it was the right time to sit back. But if he's able to do that now as well, he's pretty much just a complete package. Yeah, that is a terrifying thought for Zergs, to know that he will be able to beat them in fast games, in slow games, in everything. And there is a lot of creep here. Just one scan here would be so nice, because then all the creep on the high ground would be gone. I think we're gonna have to... Oh, I was already zoomed out. I wanted to zoom out even more. That'd be sick if you could do that. The Vipers get a nice parasitic bomb off. Not too meaningful. I guess abducts and actually loses a Viper there. That's pretty rough. So Reynor's gonna go in here. This position is actually insane for Clem. There's no creep here. Actually, the Ultras just getting blocked behind the units, not doing anything. They weren't in front of the army. And the entire army is already gone by the time the Ultras arrived. That was a little bit of a botched engagement there by Reynor. But a fantastic position here by Clem. He had 6 tanks spread all the way here. And now he can pretty much just stim through. Even though there's Ultras, as long as there are no Banelings, you can pretty much go forward and kite back always. And if there's anyone good at pulling the trigger, in this case it is Clem. As you can see, he's literally stimming in his face. He's in his natural pretty much. As soon as he saw the opportunity. And yeah, Banelings could get magical hits, but I think that's not even gonna matter. You can see Clem is not even moving his units anymore at this point. 182 supply of Terran bio. Ghost on the back of this as well. Securing his 5th at the same time, because why the hell not? And that is gonna be it for game number 1. So here is the cool build I promised I would show you guys, also from the same best of 5 against Reynor. Actually went for a gas first and a Marine. So as I was saying last game, if Clem does not go for a Reaper, he definitely has something prepared. And you can see it is already the case because he's going for a 1-base factory, which is very unusual. I think the only player I've seen do this recently is Cure. I might actually have YouTubed that at some point. I do remember him doing that against, I want to say, Solar on Hardwire. So maybe this is a good build to use on maps that are good for Zerg. Obviously, Glittering Ashes, a very nice Zerg map. Now we're just going to SCV scout. And I caught a little bit of this game, so I know a big reason why you have the SCV scout. If we're going to look at the SCV, I think he's going to be proxying a starport, because at least this game was a Hellion drop, and I imagine you only do that with a proxy starport. So you see, he makes sure to pass the Overlord, makes it look like everything is normal, and then he loops back around to proxy a starport over there. Now, if you're gonna use this, guys, be very careful where you put the starport, because I swear some Zergs send their Overlord in such a weird pattern that I wouldn't be surprised if you proxied it here and an Overlord would fly over it, you know. So know what you're doing, guys. Know what you're doing. Yeah, so there he's gonna go for the 2 Hellions. So kind of surprised he didn't move out the Marine to look for an Overlord, because he did see that it was a hatch first. Obviously, never move out your Marine if it's a pull first, guys, because you will lose the game if Lynx walk across pretty much instantly. There we go. Starport's there. Zergling gets close. Oh my god. That would be... If I was observing this, I'd be very scary. Like live, of course, I mean. So he's going to save a few Hellions here. Looks like he doesn't want to give away the fact that he is... that he did go for those fast Hellions, which is interesting. That might be an important part to it. If you move out the 2 Hellions too fast. I don't know if there's something they can do reactively. But... if that wasn't the case, I think he would be moving those across, so he has a reason for it. Now, Medevac's already building. You can see the SCV is going to loop around all the way, because he doesn't want to get caught by a random Overlord over here or a Zergling. Now, that Zergling might actually see it. Looks like it's barely not going to see it, because the SCV is going to go here. Unless he... Why is he so high? Let's see. Does Reynor see that? Reynor did actually not pay attention to that. He saw that SCV for a good 5 seconds there on the minimap. That is a little bit crazy. Now, the Hellions are out here. Obviously, you do not want to make them or let them know that you have a drop. So he's pretending like they're normal Hellions until the medevac is there, and then he can boost in really fast. Zergling speed timing is going to finish in 2 seconds. That's a little bit rough. But there are no Zerglings here on the field. Let's see how Reynor defends this. eBay or Evo block going down here. Probably another one here if I have to guess. You can actually totally Evo block this with 3 Evos. If you get another one there, doesn't look like it. Actually, didn't lose a single drone there, I believe. That is quite impressive by Reynor, I have to say. Now, let's see what the follow-up is behind this. Actually going to go for 3 barracks. So he made 6 Hellions in total. Means he has 2 at home somewhere, I would guess. Oh, they're here at the front. And then he transitioned into making 3 barracks. Starport is flying back home as well. So this is actually going to be a 2-base follow-up. Like, I have to admit, I saw the Hellion drop part. I did not see how the game ended exactly. I just remember that it was some kind of cool attack. I don't know. I didn't know if it was a 2-base or 3-base push. It looks like we are going to have a 3-base attack. Now, he does have a lot of minerals, so I wonder if he might make like a fake 3rd CC behind it. Doesn't have to be a fake. It could also just be a delayed one. Here's the eBay. Yeah, I always give this tip for when you guys want to do 2-base all-ins against Zerg. Try to not make the eBay in the wall, because it kind of gives away that you're only playing 1 eBay. But you guys always comment saying, our Zergs don't pay attention to that. So do what you want, okay? But I would still, for the sake of executing this build perfectly, I would not make the eBay in the wall, because it does give it away a little bit. And the reason, if you're wondering, is just because Terrans always play single eBay, or double eBay, sorry, against Zerg. There's no reason to ever just make 1 eBay, so if you make 1 eBay in the wall and there's no 3rd CC to be found anywhere, it is pretty obviously a 2-base all-in. Now he's gonna move out 1 medevac with 8 Marines. This is a move I honestly haven't seen before. I feel like it's a very long time since I've seen someone move out a random medevac with 8 Marines. It does have stim, which is pretty sick. Now there's no 3rd CC to be found yet. I feel like either you would go for a 3rd CC or you would make 2 extra barracks. Like, I quite clearly remember Dream going for the 5 racks. Now, Reynor is going to go up to about 60 drones, which is honestly a very appropriate amount. If he makes many more, though, that he would be in a little bit of trouble. And there Clem goes with the 2 extra barracks. So this actually was a completely committed 2-base all-in. Overlord's going to fly in, though. Let's see if he realizes what he sees with the Overlord. Marines have to evacuate there. If the Hellions were there with that Marine drop, he could have actually cancelled that base. That would have been pretty huge. So now he's going to send out 2 more medevacs. So he's pretty much reinforcing this entire push with medevacs. The first one went across. The second and third one went across as well. He hasn't walked a single unit across. Or well, this 1 Marine now. My bad, guys. I should have seen that before. And now this is when Reynor realizes he might be in a bit of trouble. Because he has 67 drones. But looks like it's a little bit too late. Because this is the kind of army that is really hard to stop without banelings. Unless you have really good upgrades. The timings did not line up completely for Clem. There's no +1. But if there's no banelings, yeah, you can just go in like this. Why not? He already lost a bunch of links. All the transfuses are gone. And it looks like just like that, Reynor's in massive trouble. And I have to admit, this is a very Clem victory. Most people would not just go and stim in like that over creep. Like, this is pretty incredible. Has absolutely 0 follow-up at home. 2 more reactors on those barracks. And yeah, just like that, Clem takes down the ex-world champion in 7 minutes and 4 seconds. Incredible victory. I personally think, looking at this build, it could be optimized a bit more. I think the +1 timing is probably perfect. And the reason is that usually you don't get to just run like that over creep. The Zerg might be in a bit of a better position. You need to wait for your tanks to show up. And it's a different game, right? So I think the +1 is actually perfectly timed. I think these reactors are probably a mistake because you're never going to be able to reinforce from those. But besides that, really cool build by Clem. I am honestly not sure if this was a freestyle or planned because... Mostly because of the follow-up. It doesn't seem like a very Clem thing to do. But it worked and he got the dub and it was awesome. And for you guys, hope you really enjoyed the content. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Adios.